My best friend spent 20 years stealing my father's will. My dad's retirement party was a beautiful event, except I was the only family member not invited. I spent most of my 30s wondering what I did wrong to make my own father treat me like a stranger. I just assumed I was the disappointment. Then I ran into Leo, my best friend since the 3rd grade, at the local hardware store. We were standing in the plumbing aisle just staring at a bunch of PVC pipes. Out of nowhere, Leo brings up this fishing trip from 1998. He starts telling me with this smug little grin how I almost drowned my younger brother because I was too obsessed with catching a trophy bass. I just stared at him. I do not even have a brother. I have an only child's loneliness that has lasted my whole life. Leo just laughed it off, called me forgetful, and walked away. That was the moment the gears finally started turning. I knew Leo. He did not just make mistakes with facts. He planted them. I started wondering what other fake stories he had been whispering in my dad's ear for the last 20 years. My dad had become this cold, distant man who only praised Leo for being the steady one while I was the flake. I was terrified of losing the only parent I had, but I realized I had already lost him to a liar. I needed proof, and I was not just going to wait for a slip-up. I spent 3 grueling weekends in the damp basement of my dad's old office, scrubbing through old ledger books and handwritten notes from the 80s. The air smelled like old sawdust and wet cardboard. I even had to bribe the old company accountant, a guy named Mort, with a $500 gift card just to let me see the original trust documents. That is when I saw the real game. Leo had been acting as the unofficial manager of my dad's estate for a decade. He had been slowly redirecting funds into his own side accounts, and more importantly, he had been drafting these fake letters to my dad that made me look like a gambling addict. He had even forged my signature on loan documents I never saw. I felt a weird kind of calm. It was almost impressive how dedicated he was to the grift. Then my dad passed away last June. The reading of the will was a total circus. Leo sat there in a tailored Navy suit, looking like he was mourning a king. He inherited the entire family business, the house, and every remaining account. He did not even look at me when the lawyer announced it. He just leaned over and whispered that maybe I could find a job as his personal driver if I played my cards right. I just sat there, smelling the stale coffee in the room, and smiled. See, while I was in that basement with Mort, I did not just find the forgeries. I found the truth about the business. My dad had been hiding a total collapse for 15 years. The company was a ghost. The assets were gone. The only thing left in that family empire was a mountain of debt. I waited until the final papers were signed and the ownership officially transferred to Leo's name. As he walked out of the office, I handed him a thick manila folder. It was a stack of overdue notices and a final notice from the IRS. Total liabilities came to about $2.4 million. Leo's face went from smug to gray in about 3 seconds. He tried to scream, to tell me it was a mistake, but the law is a funny thing. He had fought so hard to be the sole heir that he had legally signed away his own personal assets to cover the company debts. He spent 20 years ruining my life to inherit a bankrupt shell. Now, he calls me every month begging for a loan. I just let it go to voicemail.